Weather desk. Currently, it's 28 degrees. The weather sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let the folks at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. Just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
And by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis and Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Great to be with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. It is Monday, and it's time to get after it. We have baseball to talk about. Diego Giuliani, the president of St. Louis City SC, is going to join us at 12:15 with some information about the World Cup that is coming to North America this summer. And also, we're going to visit with Bob Ramsey, who is on his way to Dayton, Ohio, to go see the Billikens take on the Flyers. What's up, Ranj?
That's a game that's going to happen. That's the one I was worried about.
Yeah,
is that Dayton game.
Yeah,
just a little nervous about it.
Oh,
so
I hear you. That's a tough place to play.
I know they got rolled up by the Billikens when they played here, but it's different when you go on the road. So hopefully they can hold court here.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be tomorrow night, and we'll have that broadcast. We got a lot going on, no question about it. There's going to be a lot of discussion for a long, long time about what we saw yesterday with the United States hockey team winning gold. That was just so special. I mean, just so special. I mean, we talked about it yesterday on Sports on a Sunday Morning, like in real time. It happened 10 minutes before we went on the air. We're just all like, I was just blown away by it. I just thought it was so cool, great for the sport, and a wonderful story of toughness, how they gutted that thing out against a better team. Canada has a great, great hockey team. I mean, they're just loaded with talent, but it doesn't matter if you don't win the game. And I love what Jack Hughes said. He said that was American hockey, you know. Tough. He has his teeth knocked out. He's bleeding as he's doing this interview. I love it. They found a way to win the game. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And as has been pointed out, they were outplayed for the majority of the game. But when you have a goaltender who was doing what Connor Hellebuck was doing, it's really tough to beat that. And so that man, he was special yesterday.
Yeah, totally cool. Kind of awkward now. He goes back to the Winnipeg Jets. Mm-hmm. So has to deal with that for a little while.
And Binnington played well too.
Binnington was great. And what I love about Benner is he's great. He doesn't have to see action for minutes at a time, and then he makes a save. Hellebuck's facing save after save, shot after shot. Sometimes
it's harder.
Benner doesn't see anything, but he is he's a gamer.
Yeah.
Hellebuck had that reputation of not coming through in big moments. He did there. That'll cement his legacy for a long, long time. And he will play, I was looking at the schedule, at Anaheim on Friday. That'll be his first game on U.S. soil. So I would expect a special ovation for him. And guess who's going to be in town on Saturday afternoon at Enterprise Center? Jack Hughes and the New Jersey Devils. So the Blues fans get to serenade him. That should be fun as well. So, yeah, that was just all in all really, really special. And I think we're going to feel this for a long, long time. The women winning it on Thursday, the men winning it on Sunday, and the United States sweeping the gold medal games at the Winter Olympics, which have come to an end, and they will move to Nice, I do believe, next year. 2030.
When I had when I was a kid, it was always really sad to me when the Winter Olympics, well, both Olympics actually, would come to an end. Because for that 2 weeks, that's sort of what you did, right? I mean, it was on TV, so it was like the routine you settle into. You watch the Olympics, right? And then it happens for a couple of weeks, and then it's over. It was always sad during that time. I think I've, with the exception of a few events here and there, as a sports fan, I've kind of fallen out with the Olympics. Not that I hate them, I just don't have the same level of passion for it that I used to, and I'm not sure what it is, but it's just not the same. But with the gold medal game yesterday, that changes a lot, because it had been 46 years since they had won, and to do something that is highly unusual and hardly ever happens, that'll inject a little life into you. And that's what happened yesterday with people around the country celebrating and having parties doing it, early morning parties, bars opening up early so people could go and watch. That was really special.
Really, really neat. So the French Alps is where it'll be in 2030. And we're going to have really just an incredible time following. I grew up more of a Summer Olympics fan, and I've become more of a Winter Olympics fan. I just love the unique sports that they provide, and the viewing is just off the charts awesome. I love it. It really is fun. I'll tell you what's just beginning, though, my friend, and that is baseball.
Now, a St. Louis Cardinals spring training report, sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens, and making memories. And by Happy Roof, we always create happy endings on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Fellas, I can't be with you live today. Mike Claiborne and myself are broadcasting the Cardinals and the Marlins over at MLB.com, Cardinals.com, and, of course, the MLB app as well. We did hear from Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol earlier today, taking a look at the lineup, and just something that's of note. Jimmy Crooks is starting today behind the plate. This is our first opportunity to see him. Big spring for him as he is competing for a major league job. And when we talked with Ollie this morning, he talked a little bit about what they're looking for from the young catcher.
A combination of things. Some of them are communication related. Some of them are swing related. I think when you look at the catching side of things, there's a lot of progress being made there. There's a better understanding of his time in the big leagues, what he struggled with, what he did well offensively, and some of the mechanical and approach adjustments that need to take place there. And then from a communication standpoint with Dusty staff, that's an ongoing thing with any young player, is them getting to the point where they're comfortable enough truly expressing themselves and not just saying okay.
Michael McGreevy is making the start today for the Cardinals as we see him for the first time in Grapefruit League play. Of course, last year was an interesting year for him where he was up and down throughout the season. His overall numbers at the big league level, not bad. He had an 8-4 record and a 4.42 ERA. Ollie said that they really learned a lot about McGreevy last year, and they're looking forward to him taking a step forward this season.
He doesn't seem bothered by a whole lot, and that's really cool to see out of a young guy. It's not that things don't bother him, but he stays locked in. Like, everyone's going to experience something throughout the course of a game that throws you off. Like, the skill is to refocus, and he does that really quickly. Young guys tend to miss, like they have a gap between when something throws them off and their ability to like refocus. So he doesn't take himself too serious, where things just kind of like he just keeps going to the next thing, next moment, stay present. And he does that really well, which is not normal for his age. So that part of it was impressive. Areas of improvement, how he attacks lefties and being able to kind of not be predictable in certain counts and situations. But all things he's aware of.
From a big picture standpoint, they are being very careful with pitchers. They did the same thing last year. And when you think about the amount of health that they had with pitching last season, it seemed to work. Ollie did say that the ramp-up process for different pitchers might be a little bit slower and even stretch into the regular season, just as a way to make sure that they are giving guys the best opportunity to be healthy throughout the whole season.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, whether that's the throwing programs and build-up leading into arriving at camp, some guys were comfortable with that build-up being a little bit more aggressive and being able to throw lives and throw multiples sooner, maybe. And then there's some where we've slow played it because we understand they know their bodies really well and don't need the full spring training to ramp up as a reliever, like a Stanek. JoJo plays into that as well, where he'll use spring training to ramp up. Some guys don't have that luxury and need to arrive ready. So individualizing that is important. But yeah, we've messed around a decent amount with that. Even the beginning of the season last year, we allowed for a couple of weeks of taking guys out after 80 pitches in order to protect September at the expense of you guys yelling at me. But yeah.
Again, fellas, it is the Cardinals and the Marlins today going on right now. Folks want to hear it, they're able to do so on MLB.com, Cardinals.com, and also the MLB app. Cardinals have a night game tomorrow, so I'll be back with you live tomorrow. Looking forward to that. At Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, Florida. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Matt, we're always looking forward to joining you, and we appreciate that. Have a great call today. When we come back, we'll talk some soccer and the World Cup coming this summer to North America. The president of St. Louis City SC, Diego Giuliani, will be with us to talk about City's 1-1 draw, but also the World Cup and the events surrounding that. Back in a moment. This is the Gashouse Gang. It's sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, and Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Thursday, February 19th or Tuesday, February 24th. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This is Megan Lynch. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. That's why I trust them. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
100 years of service and still at your service. KMOX.
Against Zaha, center line. Edelman got it forward to Betcher. Betcher to Cello.
He got it. Dude scores for Sal Harnell in the 60th minute. City lead.
Oh, my goodness. The sounds of Joey Zanaboni are back on Y98 FM.
Baby. I saw Joey outside the building on Saturday. He was standing right by the Clydesdales.
How was our bearded friend doing?
He was good. He was admiring the Budweiser Clydesdales, and I was admiring them too.
I admire Joey Zanaboni.
He's great.
He brings a lot of energy to the broadcast. We always appreciate him. With Chris Ranji, I'm Tom Ackerman. It is the Gashouse Gang, and we are joined by the president of St. Louis City SC, Diego Giuliani. It's always great to talk to you, Diego. I enjoy these conversations very much. How are you doing?
Great, Tom. Good to speak to you, too.
It's
Happy
great. Happy Monday to you. I want you to tell the audience what you told me yesterday about USA defeating Canada, how your kids were watching it and really into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. Winter Olympics have arrived at our home for sure. And it was an exciting game. USA winning it there in overtime. My kids jumping up and down. It's funny, 3 years ago, they'd never watched an ice hockey game in their life. Now there they are cheering on USA.
Yeah, I think the casual fans, even they got into it yesterday morning because that was a lot of fun and a fantastic run. And Diego, the season has started. Was able to go to the opener on Saturday. A little chilly, but a pretty nice day, and the game ends in a tie. You must be happy to get this season underway finally.
Yeah, excited to be back after 4 months of not having a game at Energizer Park. And while I am definitely happy with how the team showed up and how we played, it's one of those games where we deserve to win it. So to be able to walk away with 1 point instead of 3 is also a little frustrating.
I'm sure it is. And, you have a different look here now moving forward. You have a new sporting director, you have a new coach, you have some new personnel. What is the identity of St. Louis City SC? What exactly do you want to accomplish here moving forward as you try to, as you told me yesterday, and as Carolyn Kindle has echoed, that they believe internally here that this team has a chance to make the playoffs. That's what they want. What is the identity of this team moving forward?
I mean, the identity in many ways hasn't changed from what we aspired for the identity of this team to be, which is an aggressive, front foot game. We're taking the control of the game, both defensively and offensively, to entertain our fans and to show them a style of football that connects with the city's DNA. That is really what we've been trying to play from season one and what we will continue trying to do this season and do so better. And of course, we have ambition as a sports team in St. Louis. We know that sports fans here are used to creating winning teams, and that's what we want to put out there as well.
Yeah, and then Carolyn Kindle, she before the last season said that making the playoffs is the goal, and that's what they expect to happen. And in order for that to happen this year with a new team, and I guess it's sort of a multi-part question here, but how long do you think it will take before you really truly know what the identity of this team is, and then therefore know what the path to the playoffs are in the style that City's going to play?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a moving target. Seeing how the team showed up in the first game gives us a lot of belief that the 6 weeks of preseason were well spent, with teams understanding how Johan and his coaching staff want to play and being able to bring that to life already in game day one. But we have had some missing players, including some that we signed in the last few weeks that haven't yet even started training with the team. And we also know that we've got the midseason window coming in May, where we expect to also improve the team. So this is going to be a living and breathing evolution of a team that we hope that by the end of the season, you can start seeing what a competitive team that should be able to aspire for playoffs looks like.
I wanted to ask you also about just stadium operations. What new things did people take in? And maybe just in terms of flow of the stadium, you guys have now probably found your groove at this point. One of the spectacular stadiums in the sport also has a lot of people involved on a game day. How did the fans take it? What are the reviews after day one?
Reviews are amazing. I mean, and you could tell being in there, first of all, how full it was, but also the fact that there were so many fans standing up in those last 10 minutes of the game is an amazing indicator of us being able to project the energy from the field to the stands. We are now going on the beginning of our 4th season with consecutive sellouts for every single game. So that just shows the amount of interest that there is and support from our fans. It was a cold day, as you know, but it was a beautiful sunny day. And we had so many fans there supporting, and we hope that that translates into more fans wanting to come to Energizer Park in the next few games.
Well, it is always a lot of fun at Energizer Park. The stadium itself is gorgeous. I think we all know that, and we've been talking about it for several years. And so to have this be a location for, international games or potential World Cup games or Olympic games, that sort of thing in the future, how easy is it? I'm assuming easy is not the right word for this because it's always difficult to get these things in, but how much does the building itself and the atmosphere and what's been built there in Midtown, how does that help in attracting these events to the stadium?
It attracts, it matters a lot. It matters a lot. It matters a lot to the teams that are looking at where to play, to see not just the quality of the pitch and the facility itself, but also the life that gets breathed into that facility. You know, we've had the U.S. men's and women's national teams come here multiple times, and they come back because they know that the city shows up and supports them. They also get good results, actually, sporting-wise. But yeah, you know, with the Olympics now being confirmed that they're going to be coming here in LA 28, we've had Premier League team here, we've had a Bundesliga team here, and we know that this is a great stadium and option for some of the top national and international teams exploring where to play. And that's part of the goal of why it was created at this level, to bring international soccer to St. Louis as well.
Diego, is there any news on hosting a national team during the World Cup?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tom. I mean, we have been working on this for many, many months. Even some conversations started over a year ago. And, you know, we are now getting to that last stage. Unfortunately, it is looking increasingly unlikely that we're going to be selected for a base camp. It's not final yet, but it is now more progressed. And we've been in communication with many national teams, with FIFA. Many of those are now being announced. And unfortunately, it looks unlikely that we're going to get one. Any indication why that is? Yeah, there's a few main reasons why. I mean, now that we understand really, really clearly what they're looking for, there's, you know, two really easy to understand reasons. The first is we're not a host city, right? So teams are looking at the group stage games after their draw, and they're trying to be located in a city where they at least can avoid one travel. So you take an example like Argentina, who has announced that they will be staying in Kansas City. They're playing one of their group stage games in Kansas City. So that's an important factor. We're not a host city. We never were. But we're realizing that many teams would like to prioritize being in a location where at least one of their group stage games are being played. And then the second thing, and this one was a bit more surprising, is that it's the one time where our location as a training facility in a downtown area actually played against us. Because many teams, the more we spoke to them, we realized that their preference was to be away from downtown in a secluded and private area, rather than, you know, in the heart of the downtown that's accessible and you know, closer to fans, which is frustrating, right? Because this was created, this academy and this training facility stadium, as the only fully downtown, fully integrated MLS team campus in the country. And we're really proud about that. That was a big statement around us wanting to be about this city, in the middle of the city. But frustrating on this occasion, because we spoke to many national teams and they instead prefer the, you know, college campus that isn't a professional sporting or professional soccer team setup, but it is, you know, good fields surrounded by trees in a quiet area. So those would be the two main reasons why we haven't had it. I know also hotels was a criteria for some national teams, but we're not close enough to that area, and do obviously understand the two most important criteria as well.
So, I mean, it's a little counterintuitive, because the understanding was that MLS wants to build in a city. They want stadiums to be in downtown areas and not off in suburbs. That was a directive sort of in getting this stadium built here. So, I mean, could it be in the future that you just maybe add some ways to block out the view of people? You know, I know there are ways that you can put up tarps and that sort of thing. Did you hear anything like that if it were to be retrofitted in some way, that these practice fields in this location would be more suitable for them?
I mean, we did explore many different options, including building some stuff. But, you know, the other option is to just train some of those have some of those training sessions in the stadium itself, which is a lot more private and secluded. But, you know, we have our team that trains in our training facility every week. The U.S. men's and women's national team, when they come, they've used our training facility there as well. So for the majority of needs, I think we will still be fine. This is a bit of a particular case where you do have national teams that are coming for 15 days in a very, you know, once every 4-year opportunity to compete. And there, you know, we found a lot of head coaches that are a lot more obsessive about this need to be fully private. So even with some of those options that we explored with them, we still found it an uphill battle versus some of the other options that they found in other cities.
Well, we appreciate you explaining all of that to us. And I know it's a one-time shot, but it's also an opportunity to engage your fan base and also pick up on, we talked about how the U.S. beating Canada was huge for the game of hockey. I mean, having the World Cup here is huge for the game of soccer. I'm sure you won't miss an opportunity to engage your fans from the little ones all the way to your oldest generation.
Yeah, and I do think that is what we're focusing on. I mean, bringing a team to base camp has been an important focus over many months, as I mentioned, but there's so many other things we have planned. And, we've got watch parties. We're going to do a lot of grassroots soccer. We're going to create a lot of content celebrating World Cup and moments, trying to do some, post-World Cup activations to bring first-time fans into our building. So there's a lot of stuff that fans are going to see and be able to participate in. So we are, full guns blazing, focused on that.
Diego, we appreciate your time very much. Thank you for doing this back-to-back appearances for Diego Giuliani on KMOX. You're always welcome. You know that, and we love having you on the station. And Y98 FM, of course, is the home, but I feel like KMOX is the home of the city programming, if you will. All of your special shows. We have Jen Cease involved. It's awesome. So thank you so much, Diego.
Thank you again, Tom.
Appreciate it. President of St. Louis City SC, Diego Giuliani.
Giuliani. That's the right way to say it.
Yeah. He told me once upon a time that you can say it anyway. There's an Americanized Gigliani. I think he likes the Giuliani.
So I wish somebody would have told me that, because that's the way I wanted to pronounce it.
Yeah. Well,
from the start, and then I heard it being pronounced the other way, and I thought, I guess I'm wrong. So I went with Gigliani, and now I feel like a dope.
You could do like in between. You could do a soft G and a hard G. So you could say Gigliani.
Gigliani. I could do that.
I think he likes Gigliani also.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with what he wants.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. We're going to take a quick timeout. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. There is no mispronouncing that. It is Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Very easy. In fact, the website is very easy. You can Google it if you want, or you can just check them out at ChesterfieldFenceandDeck.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. 1968 is when they started. So if you're looking for a new deck, new patio, new sunroom, new fence for the dogs this summer, right? A new retaining wall. You ever thought about that for your outdoor areas? You might go so far as to have an outdoor kitchen and bar going on out there this summer. Hey, Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the place for you. They have a showroom in Chesterfield Valley that I highly recommend you walk through, or you can just have them come out, chesterfieldfence.com, have them come out and do a free estimate at your home. They're the best. And mention me, Tom Ackerman. You'll receive 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. There are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Mostly sunny, 28 degrees. We'll have a high of 35, and tonight a low of 23.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8. JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. Jerry Kelly.
In 1991, John and Cindy Morelli started Morelli Tuck Pointing. As of today, they've won just about every award possible for the tuck pointing business. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighborhood Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For homeowners, this is a great time to get a free inspection of your basement, your brick or stone fireplace, your garage interior, your porch, and maybe even your walkway. Indoor tuck pointing can be started now. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. My wife Beth and I have used Morelli tuck pointing to work on 2 of our homes now over the last 25 years. We have found the Morelli bids to be fair. Their crews are very polite and they clean up after themselves. But most importantly, their work is beautiful. Family owned and operated since 1991. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Let's be honest. The hearing aid industry is broken. Overpriced clinics, pushy appointments, bills of $5,000 or more. That's the trap they hope you fall into. Don't let it happen. Audion Hearing is the escape. Their FDA-registered hearing aids cost just a fraction of the big brands, starting at only $98. Instead of paying as much as $5,000 plus all the doctor appointments and wasted time, you get what you need with no prescriptions, no office visits, no time wasted, and no crazy price tag. Call 800-700-HERE. That's HEAR. Audion's cutting-edge devices are rechargeable, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. Try them risk-free for 45 days with lifetime support and real human help just a phone call away. Over 1 million people have already said yes to Audion Hearing. Join them. Don't let them take advantage of you. Break free from the trap. Call now 800-700-HERE. That's HEAR for a very special offer. 800-700-HEAR or 800-700-4327.
Dreaming of college but worried about the cost? The Together Foundation is here to help. The Together Foundation is awarding 5 $1,500 scholarships to St. Louis area students who are ready to take the next step toward their future. Applying is simple, but time is limited, as applications will be accepted through March 31st. Learn more or apply at togethercu.org/scholarship. That's togethercu.org/scholarship. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hired them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Rush Hour Sports, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here.
Bernie Nicholas joins Rush Hour Sports tonight at 5 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Back on the Gashouse Gang, our visit with the voice of the Billikens, Bob Ramsey, sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri, our Billiken Report, and good afternoon, Rammer. Looking forward to the Dayton game tomorrow night.
Yeah, Tom, how are you? It's back on the road again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And this one to one of the great venues in college basketball, Dayton Arena, and been going there a long time, since the mid 80s, and it's always a challenge. The people are great. The fans are great. But it can be a house of horrors for any visitor. So, mixed emotions going in. But seriously, it's been a great year, and challenges make you better.
Yeah, and I do feel like this is going to be a challenge. They'll be waiting. The Billikens drilled them 102-71 on that raucous night at Chaffetz Arena. And that's really the last time, Bob, that the Billikens played a complete game from start to finish, and I'm certain the Flyers haven't forgotten.
Yeah, two things on that. One, I think you're right. That was such a beatdown to Dayton because, there have been some other great scores before and since then. But I think that's about the best the Billikens can play, certainly to that point in the year. Things have leaked out a little bit, slow start since then, including the good victory Friday against VCU. So slow starts have been a problem. And so for me, the concern going to Dayton is they absolutely will want payback, A. And B, falling behind them in that arena with that great crowd that's a recipe for disaster. So there's kind of two ways to look at that going in.
The Billikens playing right now based on the second half against VCU as well as they can go. I mean, that was absolutely gas pedal down. You know, we've seen some second half bursts from them where they went on a 10-0, 12-0 run. I mean, that one was a complete flip, and there were a lot of layers to it, I think. Weren't there, Raymer?
Yeah, there were. It's funny, a week ago, Tuesday, the Bills, same situation, fell behind, but they never could get a run. They could not get a run going against Rhode Island, to the Roadies' credit. You tip your cap to that. They wouldn't let the Bills get out and get one of those, the stat guys call them kill shots now, 10-0 or more runs. So, but they did, and as you said, even more so, it was a tidal wave against VCU in the second half on Friday. So that's where we stand now. You go in, hopefully you'll avoid the slow start, and then hopefully you can get a couple of those kill shot runs to sort of we've learned that that's the Bills' game, to get on those runs that just hammer the opponent and sort of take the goodwill they have for themselves. You just take the wind right out of their sails. So yeah, those are the things you hope for looking in.
Kellen Thames is such a difference maker. And, I looked at that Dayton game. I was actually surprised to find that he only had 3 points in that game. I mean, he makes a difference in other areas, but he only had 3 points and he had 3 turnovers in 16 minutes in that game. He was phenomenal against VCU.
In both games against VCU, Kellen was dominant. I don't think there's any other way to put it, dominant. And then some other guys who had been, a little bit under the radar in these the other most recent games in February, including Brady Dunlop. You look at Brady's numbers on Friday night. He didn't have a very good game, but he did all the stuff that are more or less intangibles: diving for loose balls, help out defense, getting on the boards, and he didn't score, didn't have a field goal, but he was like a plus 19. Now, I don't know what you think of the plus minus. I think in basketball it can be a little overrated, but there are some indications in relativity to teammates who have made more or less impact on a given game. So those two guys who had been a little quieter recently really stepped up. And I think tomorrow night against Dayton on KMOX, those two guys, well, really all 9 players that are in the normal rotation are going to have impact.
Yeah, I love this conversation because another guy that jumps out to me in that respect is Otieno. Otieno does so much to help this team make so many winning plays that don't always show up in the box score.
Yeah, and what he's done, his game has really elevated, in particular on the defensive side is where you need it. And, averaging 90 points a game, we can talk about the Billikens offense, and it is spectacular, and it is really fun to watch. But the hallmark for them to win is defense. And what Paul does, not only on the boards guarding bigs, but when he's out there, he allows you to pull off switches at all 5 positions. And that is something when you can switch at all 5 spots, it really it really elevates everything you do defensively.
Bob, when people bring up the SLU game against VCU to me, they mention the skirmish at the end. It wasn't a brawl, but the pushing and shoving at the end. And I understand that because that's how people put out stories that get clicks, and that got all the attention where the attention should have been the great second half. But I am glad that nobody got suspended, that the matter is considered closed. Heat of the moment thing, because at the moment, as I'm watching it, I'm saying, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, and so is Josh Schertz. There's no reason to ruin what has been a runaway train here for SLU this season.
And to be fair, so was Phil Martelli Jr., VCU coach, because you could have come down with a heavy hand and issued a ton of suspensions and really messed up the run late. Now, I'm not going to say that the Atlantic 10 didn't issue suspensions to protect their 2 best teams, but it certainly worked out pretty well in that regard. And because there were no punches thrown, in fact, the Robbie Avila foul, it was ticky-tack. It was a flop to get the 3-point, to get the free throws. hey, tip your cap, the flop worked, right, for VCU. So I think when you look at all the factors combined, I think probably no suspensions was good. There were two after the whistle shoves in the back, one by VCU, one by SLU, who would have come out with a couple of suspensions there. I could see it, but I think the Atlantic 10 was wise in the way they adjudicated the whole process.
Final thing, we look at the Atlantic 10 right now, and it's all there for St. Louis. I mean, if the Billikens want to do this, they have an opening. They have a 2-game lead in the loss column on VCU, and there's nobody even close right now. I mean, you can finish the job here and be the number 1 seed.
No question about it. It's right there in front of you. And it is kind of exciting if you just like following the leagues and who's winning and who's not. It's going to be a mad dash to the finish. There's a bunch of teams all clumped up behind VCU for the 3 and 4 spots in the league, and I think it's going to be a mad dash to see who gets the buys in the tournament. But at the end, whether you get a double buy, a single buy, or you got to win, you got to start playing on Wednesday and try and get to Sunday. I just love conference basketball, just like fans in St. Louis will be treated to the Missouri Valley Conference. And you love college basketball like I do. The next couple of weeks are going to be really, really fun.
So much fun. March is that close. It starts, though, with Dayton tomorrow night. Bob Ramsey will have the call with Earl Austin Jr., 6 o'clock tip, 5:45 pregame right here on KMOX. Bob Ramsey, always a pleasure. Rammer, your reports are sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri.
Brought to you by our friends at Royal Banks of Missouri, 314-212-1500, and always online at royalbanksofmo.com. The great thing about Royal Banks is, even as it has expanded over the years, and they've been around over half a century, of course, is that each and every bank, new or old, feels like your hometown bank. Personal service, that's what Royal Banks wants to give each and every one of their customers. St. Louis, St. Charles, the East Side, Northeast Missouri, it's all the same. It's all
Back on the Gashouse Gang, our visit with the...
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Is your furnace on its last legs? Don't wait for a cold night to find out. Jerry Kelly and KMOX are giving you the chance to win a brand new furnace this winter season. Just go online to KMOX.com/contest through March 1st and nominate someone who you think deserves a brand new furnace. Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. Win a brand new furnace. For more information and contest rules, just head to KMOX.com/contest.
Who's the greatest to ever wear the Blue Note? Some debate it, but only one is called the Great One. Wayne Gretzky. 2026 marks 30 years since number 99 wore the note, and we're celebrating with an exclusive keepsake on March 10th. The Blues will rock retro jerseys against the Islanders, and the first 10,000 fans score a retro Gretzky bobblehead, courtesy of Amarin. Throw on your 90s sweater and lock in your tickets now at stlouisblues.com.
Hi, my name's Robin Fletcher. I've smoked for 46 years. I went to a seminar, and I have not smoked a cigarette since I left. My best friend came with me, and neither one of us smoked. I took my 3 sisters and my brother-in-law and my sister's best friend. None of them have smoked a cigarette, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
My name is Jen Carpenter. I went to a Mark Patrick seminar back in February 12, 2015, to stop smoking, and it worked. I'm coming up on 11 years. A friend of mine also went in October of 2015, and he still no longer smokes. This is after, for myself, almost 30 years of smoking, and it was just amazing.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight or stop smoking or your money back. Only $59.99. That's right, weight loss hypnosis, Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott St. Louis Westport in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Race car drivers like NASCAR champion Jesse Love are a lot like commercial drivers, pros, but even the best watch the tape to see what they missed and get better next time. The Samsara driving coach does the same for your fleet, giving drivers real-time feedback to build safer habits. Samsara's AI uses billions of miles of real driving data to help fleets prevent accidents and protect drivers.
If it makes me a better driver, it'll make your fleet unstoppable.
because even champions need a coach. Learn more at samsara.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling.
And by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis and Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Gashouse Gang on KMOX with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. Fun show so far. We've had Matt Pauley reporting from Jupiter. We've had Diego Giuliani, the president of St. Louis City SC. We had the voice of the Billikens, Bob Ramsey. And we're just going right around the horn. We're going to go right back to baseball. Let's do this. Jojo Romero is trying to get out of the inning. 1-1 game, top of the third in Jupiter. Cards Marlins. Matt Pauley's on the call right now.
Hernandez to third, and Morrell will take second. And we'll watch and see how they will score it. There's for sure going to be one error. I don't know if they would. It was going to be a tough play for Weatherholt on the first attempt, so you think there might be a base hit in there.
Might be because of Morrell's speed,
Yeah.
but had he picked the ball cleanly, there was a chance of throwing Morrell out at first base. And 2 errors so far against Weatherholt, and they've been trying to go up the middle, backhanding the ball.
Backhand in both balls hit him, seemed like in the heel of the glove.
And then fell to the ground.
He's looking at his glove now like, how dare you?
They do rule it a base hit.
I'm fine with that.
And then the error on Weatherholt, allowing the runners to move up. Runners on second and third now. Counts 1-1 as the pitch misses outside. 2-1 to Connor Norby, the Marlins right-handed hitting third baseman.
Now we'll see how JoJo works around this, trying to limit the damage to just 1 run.
It's a 2-1 ball game. The Marlins just taking the lead. The lefty Romero delivers the 2-1. This is lifted high in the air to center field. Church has a beat on it, comes in, makes the catch, and that ends the inning. 1 run scores for the Marlins. They take a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the third.
All right, Matt Pauley, John Rooney, Mike Claiborne with the call there as they head to the bottom of the third. A 2-1 lead for the Marlins. So a ground ball up the middle. Weatherholt, wearing number 77 on his uniform, tried to make the play. It's ruled a hit. As the ball did get away from him, a diving play to his right, a run scored to break the 1-1 tie, and the Cardinals trail 2-1. Romero gets out of the rest of it with a fly ball. That's a little look in. If you want to catch the rest of it, just go to KMOX.com. We have the link right there. You can hear the game. It is being streamed right now. But I thought it'd be fun to see what's going on down there at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium.
How about Cardinals baseball on the radio? Regardless of what the predictions are for the team, the projections, not especially good, but just hearing over the weekend, getting in the car, flipping on the old radio, hearing Rooney and Ricky talking baseball, and you hear the sounds. It's just I love this part of the year. Now, there's nothing like opening day. Opening day is the best, but there is something about that first couple of spring games. When you hear it, it's not the loud baseball crowd you expect during a regular season, but there's just something about a very relaxed game, and you can hear everything on the field. You hear the crack of the bat, you hear guys walking up the steps. It's different, and when it happens, the season's about to change.
Absolutely. And if you ever get a chance to go down there, it is absolutely worth it to spend some time around the club. You do get baseball in its purest form. You can get right up close. And for us in the media to be able to cover the team on a daily basis down in spring training, we get to do things we don't get to do in the regular season, where the players are out. We can watch them practice. We can be out on the field while they're practicing at the various fields out there at the complex. You get to spend some time chatting with them on and off the record. We see them around town. During the season, everybody's got tight responsibilities, meetings. The availability is very little. I mean, we get to be at Busch Stadium and see them in a big league game, but the accessibility and the ways that we're able to see all the minor leaguers and the major leaguers all at the same time, you can do that as a fan. They open up access to the fields. It's really a neat thing. And you're right. I mean, it's great to hear the games on the radio, Chris. It just brings us back to what we are meant to do here at KMOX, which is to broadcast Cardinal baseball in St. Louis. It's part of who we are. It's been handed down generation to generation. And mostly, it doesn't matter what kind of a day you've had. It is a guarantee, unless it's an off day, that you're going to have baseball on the radio from February to, God willing, November, if you can win a world championship. I mean, it's a nice thing.
And there's a message we got, a listener texting in saying this fan feels offended when the voice of the Cardinals does not carry Cardinals games because we didn't, it's not the main thing we're doing right now. We dipped in for a little bit. But here's the thing about that. We carry a lot of Cardinals spring baseball. And I will tell you that there is no team in baseball that puts over the radio, over the air, every single one of their spring games. They just don't do it. You get a handful here and there, and you can catch just about every one of them in one form or another, whether it's here on 104.1 or 1120, like tomorrow night. We'll have 11:20 a.m. It's a 5:05 game. So we've got that one on 11:20. 104.1 will still be our programming that we've got now. But if you're listening on 11:20 a.m. in the affiliates, you can get it tomorrow. You can get games on the stream on Cardinals.com or the link on KMOX.com. But we air a lot of spring baseball. Compared to what other teams do, this is a lot. Almost every single one of the games this spring, I think, is covered in one form or another.
Absolutely. And in collaboration with the Cardinals, we put out those broadcast plans. And then during the season, of course, all of the games are right here during the regular season. And we also have just an incredible amount of affiliates on this Cardinals radio network. We're at over 160 at this point. It is a massive network that covers all of these states and regions in the Cardinals listening area. So we appreciate it very much. We got some comments that have come in, including the E-line wanted to know, could Mizzou make the big dance? Could there be a St. Louis University versus Mizzou or Illinois matchup in the first round? You never know. I would say doubtful that you would have that matchup unless Illinois and St. Louis both end up in St. Louis. It's possible, I guess. And I think it's possible. What I'd like to see, if you're asking me, is somehow for SLU and Mizzou to hook up, since I think Mizzou has been avoiding that one for a little while, that the selection committee would get creative and put them in the same bracket. That has happened before. We've seen them do that with various rivalries and matchups. Mizzou does get into the NCAA tournament if they get to 10 SEC wins, I think. They're at 8. If they can get to 10, I don't see how you turn them away necessarily. But they've got to get to 10. They still need to get 2 more. Illinois is in. They're locked in. They're ranked 10th in the country right now.
They're more concerned about being a 1 or a 2 seed.
Yeah. They're a Final Four contender for sure and a national championship contender in my estimation. They're still ranked 10th in the new AP Top 25. SLU drops 5 spots from 18 down to 23.
Still in.
That's because of their loss to Rhode Island a week ago, but they come roaring back and they hammer VCU, and then tomorrow night we have them against Dayton.
If they stay in the top 25 the remainder of the year, no matter what happens, I know some people are worried about their at-large chances. You stay in the top 25, you're good.
Just keep on winning. And let me tell you, you don't want to face them.
No, you don't.
Thank you, my friend. For Chris Ranji, I'm Tom Ackerman. Bernie Miklasz joins us tomorrow on KMOX.
Start your summer early at the St. Charles Boat Show.